And welcome to today's Pick a Bracelet video. I decided to switch it up a little bit. I don't like to just use crystals all the time. For those of you who've been following me for a little bit, I like to use earrings, scrunchies, keys, pegs, whatever I can find. And today it is bracelets because I'm realizing that I have a decent collection. So today's reading, oh my lord, I've missed doing these moon readings for so long, but I did mess up our last one. The last full moon reading, I'm pretty sure I did it in Cancer. I was a whole month behind because it was actually a full moon in Leo. And now I did triple check. I even went on Instagram and Google and something else too that I can't remember. It's been a weird day. But it's definitely a full moon in Virgo this month. So in a couple of days, I believe the 27th, that's the one thing I didn't triple check was the date. I believe on the 27th there will be a full moon in Virgo. Oh my lord. Full moon in Virgo. So we're hoping to get clear, honest messages, unlike this intro, to see what you can expect with this full moon. It's just going to be a general predictions reading. We're going to see what comes through. We're going to get some advice, and hopefully it'll be very entertaining for you guys. So 4 groups. Group 1, you have the 7 chakras dragonfly bracelet. This is one of my favorites. It's still quite new. They're all very positively charged though, to be honest. Even though that's the chakra bracelet, they all just have such a beautiful energy. So that's group 1. Group 2, you have the beads and courage bracelet. And the beads have lost their color, but I don't buy things because they're pretty. I buy things based on the energy they give me. So that is the courage bracelet. Group 3, you have the blue turtle woven bracelet. I'm going to be honest with you, I've never worn this. It just sits amongst my crystals and keeps charging itself with positive energy. And group 4, oh my days, okay, that's group 3 is going a bit crazy over there. Let's just there. Group 4, you have the purple and blue beaded bracelet. No medallions, no extra little woven turtle business, just the beautiful purple and blue beads. So those are the 4 groups. I feel like I really over-explained this whole process. We're doing a full moon in Virgo predictions reading. Do pause the video now if you feel like you need more time to figure out which of these 4 groups you're feeling most called to. The timestamps as well as your bonus songs will be linked down below. When you're ready, click on your timestamps and join me in your reading. Hi group 1 and welcome. If you chose the 7 chakras dragonfly bracelet, then this is going to be your full moon in Virgo's prediction reading. I want to start with tarot, but I do have some interesting little things ready for us. I'm hoping that the tarot can give us clear, honest messages about what you can expect this full moon in Virgo. Now, interesting thing to know about Virgo, lately I've been really feeling the 6th house in association with Virgo. I'm feeling like this is going to be, as a collective, a wonderful opportunity to reset some routines, a wonderful opportunity to potentially, especially yours, Page of Cups coming out reverse, maybe reinstigate some more serious boundaries, like re-establish how we wish our connections to be. You got the High Priestess coming out. So you are my watery emotive group. The full moon is going to affect your emotions, you guys. So just a quick heads up. As I was saying, routines, health, and potentially how we work with others is what I want to say. I'm hearing service to others, but mostly how you work with others, because I think for some of you, maybe pulling back those emotions a little bit. But let's see. We'll see what comes through for you specifically. Group 1, please, Spirit. What can you tell them about their full moon in Virgo? What can they expect? We have the Knight of Swords reversed, so a little bit of a delay here. I'm hearing that it's a good opportunity to potentially pause in order to absorb the right information and act appropriately. But we'll see what comes out. The Ace of Swords, I do want to show you upright because you're going to get a new idea during this period. Can I clarify all 4 cards, please, starting with the Page of Cups? They're showing me the Queen of Swords, but I'm also being shown the 4 of Wands at the bottom. So interesting. Can I clarify the High Priestess, please? We have the 6 of Swords. So a lot of swords all of a sudden. You started watery and now you're very logical. What's going on with Group 1 this full moon, please, Spirit? We have the Queen of Wands. Okay, Finally, well, we have two queens out here. Can I clarify the Ace of Swords, please? We got the Four of Swords. Okay, that's interesting. First of all, if you were thinking about meditating, I'm seeing that you should get into that practice again now. Maybe you had a routine at the start of this month and you've been struggling to get back into it. I feel like the full moon is going to be a good opportunity for you to get that meditative practice back, if that's what you've been doing. Otherwise, honestly, this full moon is going to help you understand your thoughts better, understand your feelings better. You're being called to just sit on any information you receive and to wait until you have a clear, active plan forward. It's more about formulating clear actions forward. Bottom deck energy is the Three of Swords. So it is about understanding the information that comes to you, removing the primary emotion and delving deeper to be able to understand the most appropriate way forward for you. I am not going to lie to you guys. This full moon may be disruptive to your household. Someone could be coming in and staying with you for a couple of days, or you could just have a disruptive couple of days. This full moon, your household, it might either be very busy or the routine feels like it's all out of whack. I feel like you have an unexpected youthful visitor. Maybe if you have kids, they could be having sleepovers or something with this Page of Cups reversed. It kind of feels like boundaries are getting a bit pushed here, especially in your home. And with the Queen of Swords under that, I do think that there is respect here for you and your home, but I do think that in this case, you're biting your tongue over what you want to say and you're being very observant. I'm getting you as this more observant figure, not really saying a heck of a lot when this happens. I'm also just getting in general that your energy may just feel a little bit like this, okay? Because this is what I would consider stable. This is what I would consider fun. The fun is blocked. The stability is uprooted. And so you're here trying to put on a brave face, but I do see this impacting you, and it puts you into this deeply passive yet deeply spiritual energy of trying to go within and trying to sit on whatever information you're observing in your Queen of Swords energy in order to understand the subliminal messages, if that makes sense. It's almost like you're really good at reading a room, and I'm picturing you with your back against the wall, just watching and listening to everyone's conversations, and you gather so much information in that process that, like, you were all there, say there's 10 of you, but out of all the 10 people there, 9 of them didn't see like 20% of what you did. You know, that's a lot of numbers, but I'm kind of getting that you kind of have to sit on the information that you received this full moon until you feel confident enough to move forward and to move into your own energy, your own way forward. I am getting that this full moon may illuminate something about the people you share your time with, and it might make you want to remove people from your life or remove people from your space. You may be choosing to go away from the house during this period just to have some time out for yourself. You may be choosing to just isolate yourself from people who are unapologetic in the way that they treat you, or they just don't seem to have a lot of consideration. And I don't think they mean to be mean, but they're just not overly attentive towards your feelings. So it kind of feels like you're either getting away from these people or you're pushing them away from you. I'm also seeing with the Knight of Swords reverse that you're really being called to withhold any serious communication or any serious action during this period. I almost feel like someone's rushing towards you with something. They come to you with this information, and because you're already in this passive energy, when this information hits you, it stops at your door. And you sit on it for a little while, marinating with it, trying to work with the energy. That's what this Queen of Wands feels like. You've got the energy in your hands and you're just sort of working with it and feeling it, trying to understand what it means for you, and then you choose to act. You're really in your power, okay? I know it doesn't sound like that, but this is you in your power. You're not supposed to do anything impulsively unless it's preventative or protective of your energies. When it comes to making big decisions and taking big actions, this full moon in Virgo is about you gathering enough information for you to figure out your best foot forward. Don't make any big choices. Don't take any big actions. Following here with the Ace of Swords, I do feel like the full moon in Virgo is going to lead to you having some sort of clear idea about yourself, about your future. It more so feels about your next plan of action. This full moon in Virgo is going to show you something that you've been either stuck on for some time, or something that you can use to move forward with your future. But again, I'm hearing slow and steady with this Four of Swords, and I do feel that for many of you, meditation will help bring you the answers you need, because you seem to already know a lot of them. With the High Priestess here upright, you already know the answers. It's just confusing because the answers aren't obvious. The answers aren't really black and white. The High Priestess is all-knowing, all-powerful, but very passive, and a massive dweller, this sort of energy that dwells in the subconscious and the subliminal, whereas you seem to want black and white facts, and you will really come into your power this full moon in Virgo by sitting on the information that you're receiving and really just waiting until you have a clear direction forward. I do think someone is coming to you with some of the answers that you need in order to move forward, but maybe their response is slower than you were expecting, or you choose to respond slower than they were expecting. One person here seems to want to move fast. The other person is in a passive, powerful energy, and that is something I'm noticing with the collective as well. It could be that the masculine energy, if you're dealing with one, because we do have two sort of what I would consider to be masculine energies up the top here, they seem to want to rush, and there's a passive feminine energy here that wants to take it slow. So I think that with communication being open at the end here with the Ace of Swords, use this communication as an opportunity to understand what you both want if this is that kind of situation, because someone here isn't going to rush in with an outcome, but they are certainly willing to talk. With the Three of Swords being your bottom deck energy, we are definitely understanding things in a way that does call for expansion, but with the 2 threes here, I do feel like it's going to lead to success, but there's a little bit of pain there, mostly because communication isn't clear initially, is what I want to tell you. This full moon in Virgo may start with a bit of heartbreak, or may start with what feels like heartbreak, because communication isn't open yet. When we start over here, we have someone who isn't fun, we have a situation that isn't stable, and we have someone who doesn't want to talk down here to this not so attentive to our emotional needs person. This person feels emotionally unavailable, but they're on our mind. And for whatever reason, this blockage of communication and stability leads to a very passive energy here of seeking self-peace and sort of self-closure. I think that will eventually lead to the answers that you were seeking here, but there does seem to be a bit of pain first. I hope that makes sense. It wasn't the best way to explain it, but I don't feel this Three of Swords as a bad energy in my group ones. I see it more as someone who is expanding where their mind has set their limitations when it potentially comes to love. Your opportunities are expanding, but we first need to recognize the deficits. And for you, there's a deficit in communication. You're not receiving the answers you think you need, and you're not able to digest the information that is there. So this period is going to be highly analytical. You're going to be in a very passive energy. You're being encouraged to remove or protect yourself if that is what is best for you. If you feel that your home environment isn't safe or respectful, I do think that whatever this is, it's respectful, but there's just not on the same page. If you need to sort of escape for a little while and ground yourself and feel your power again, I think that would be a good thing to do. I didn't give you much warning to plan this travel though, but overall, it's about expanding and overcoming what we perceive to be a limitation, because I don't think this is a real limitation. I don't think your heart is genuinely going to break in this situation. I think you're already just feeling frustrated because you're not getting the answers that you need, and you trying to find closure by yourself will lead to you getting the answers that you need. So definitely I would recommend meditating. Let's see what else the deck of character can tell us. What can Group 1 expect for this full moon in Virgo? What can Group 1 expect this full moon in Virgo, please? Someone might be coming back. I just saw Ghost and Farmer. Someone might be coming back to either reap what they've sown with you or to sow the right seeds this time, depending on how you wish to perceive that. Someone is coming back, and I feel like they may scratch the earth that has already been scorched. So it kind of, what I'm seeing is like a dried out field. You know when soil gets that dry that it kind of cracks? That's what I'm seeing. And this person is is attempting to grow something in this soil. So I don't know, someone here is wanting to take things slow because they're hesitating, and the other person thinks that there's still life here. So that could be something that, whether this is a romantic opportunity or it could just be a friendship, it could just be a family member testing your boundaries, it could be a job trying to ask too much from you and you're actually burnt out and cracking and they just pretending like you can keep doing what you're doing. I definitely think it's about sitting on the information and planning the best way forward for yourself. Bottom deck energy is drunken sailor, and I do think you need to take some time out for yourself this full moon in Virgo. Virgo is a beautiful sign to use for self-care and to get in the right energy. In terms of getting into a healthy routine again. That can be a wonderful opportunity. All right, let's have a look here. So we have a place first. So in terms of somewhere that may be helpful for your grounding this full moon, because we do have an emotional start for you, I would recommend connecting with nature based on forest coming out. It seems to be this sort of community energy too. So I would say not just nature, but I'm called to the fact that there are multiple trees here. And I know that your next one or one of these is elves as well. So I kind of feel like it's about connecting with like-minded people. So if you feel misunderstood and like you aren't having your feelings heard or properly expressed, or you're feeling like someone isn't being honest with you about how they feel, I think that for your own sake, so that you don't feel like you're crazy and so that you're not stewing over this block in communication all week, definitely connect with people who are here for you in a way of they want you to grow. They're supportive. These are people who you may have grown up with. So friends from your childhood, family members who you understand, who maybe they don't even need to know what you're going through, but they just bring you that sense of familiarity, love, and support. There's a sense here of communicating or at least connecting with people who are similar to you, have similar interests, and who are striving for the same goals that you are if you can. Otherwise, if you would prefer to have time alone, because I do think that that might be the best thing for you, then it's just about connecting with nature. In terms of tools, we have wings. So Spirit is saying you're not as trapped as you think, but you are meant to be passive right now. We have rock as well. Yes, I don't think you're meant to take action, but you're also meant to have a higher perspective of your circumstances. You are meant to sit on the information that you get, and you're meant to analyze it in a healthy way so that you can gain clear action forward. We have another place, which is home. Absolutely. Between nature and your house, you're set. We also have club. So that was that sort of self-care, doing something that is actually going to raise your vibration energy. If you want to go dancing, this seems to be the green light for you. I would just be careful because your headspace is a bit, I want to say, disturbed by how you're feeling and also by the thoughts that are running through your head. So you know yourself best, but if you are thinking of having substances, I would just consider the fact that your head isn't really in the best place right now. You've got a lot of information to process and you've got a lot going on in terms of your emotions are rattling with your logic as well. So just keep that in mind. It's your choice, your body. We have fire here in terms of a tool, so that's encouraging. What this is telling me is that the situation is reaching some sort of climax. I think of fire as not necessarily painful, but necessary when it comes to nature and purging old energies, burning off unwanted, dead sort of things in order for new growth to happen. So things might be running a bit high. This full moon in Virgo, you might receive a lot of information that feels destructive at first, but the purpose here is that we're getting new growth. We have a place which is a wrestling ring, so I feel like it's really important that you go somewhere that with the intention of being physical or keeping your health at the forefront. You may choose to incorporate nature or your home in this, but they are encouraging you to move your body with the wrestling ring as a place. And I also just feel like healthy, competitive ways of moving your body. So if you are a competitive person, maybe involving a friend in your exercise routine and trying to compete with who can do it best. But more than anything, it's just about moving your body and expressing yourself through movement as well as healthy ways. We have ruler here in terms of a tool. So things are going to start to add up. I feel like this information is going to lead to things feeling like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. Finally, this all adds up. Like, yes, I can see now where the rest of the ruler is. That kind of makes sense. We're getting some sort of clarity, and this new communication is hitting us in a way where one person wants to move quickly, the other person needs to sit on this for a little while and think about how to move forward. We have blood in terms of tools. So what I'm kind of getting here is that this is a pretty significant situation, even though we don't have a lot of major arcana. I do think that this period requires you just kind of sitting on it to understand how important this is. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe it seems like it's nothing right now, but I think you have something significant coming your way fairly soon. Like blood is a big deal. Blood is literally, without it, we wouldn't be here. Yes, we're made up of a lot of water, but we need blood. So the fact that it's kind of coming out and it's a tool, I kind of get this energy of this is a lot, this period, however passive and inactive you feel, it's actually a very important period for your growth. Now, I'm also seeing candle here as a tool, so it may be helpful for you to set some clear intentions this full moon to purge some healthy energy, light some candles, utter some of your intentions, do a bit of praying if that's what you like to do, or say some affirmations, and really just use that flame to help purge the old, cleanse the old, and prepare for the new. Full moons for me are a good opportunity to release. I like to schedule in opportunities to cry or just let out feelings that I feel have been holding me back or that I've suppressed throughout the month. It's a good opportunity to kind of just acknowledge what you've been through this month and to release any feelings of resentment or bitterness or anger or doubt or fear that you may have suppressed. Confront some of the fears that you're currently holding, confront some of the doubts that you're currently holding, and make sure you're setting honest, clear intentions for your next lunar cycle. In terms of another place, we have tunnels. So I do see you keeping things on the down low here. I do see you trying to stay internal, not really wanting to advertise or showcase a heck of a lot of your life to people. In fact, you might have one period of this full moon where you're almost being forced in a social setting, or you're being forced to talk to someone. And I kind of see you kind of going underground for a little bit after that and disappearing for a little bit. We also have, in terms of places, a sunken ship. So that's interesting. That's the submersive energy I was feeling of someone going underground, someone disappearing for a little bit and kind of biding their time. It's not that people don't know you're there, but I just feel you kind of wanting more privacy this full moon to really process this information you're receiving. And in terms of characters, here's the elves that I was feeling. So I kind of feel like there are a lot of eyes on you, Group 1, and you do need this period of rest. You're going to have, for whatever reason, this period is very important. Even though you only got one major arcana, this period is just as important as the busier, more proactive, productive parts of your life. You are meant to be passive, you are meant to process, and you are meant to just sit on the information that you have until it is very obvious as to what actions you should take. So I think I just want to get you one healing card and then I will end this reading. Group 1, please, Spirit. What can you offer them in terms of healing resources this full moon? What would be helpful? We have take back control, and I feel that in terms of your headspace and your emotions, someone is getting the better of your feels. They put you in a very silent period, but it's not necessarily about being silent. It's about choosing your battles and passively recognizing your power, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, because I'm not just trying to use big words. There's a lot of power in silence, and you stepping back from the limelight isn't you taking an L or a loss here. It's you understanding your best way forward and giving these louder voices an opportunity to almost destroy themselves. Like, for some of you, there's an energy around you that feels like it needs to prove itself to you, especially with the ruler here and the wings and this blood and the fire. I'm just feeling like someone has to really push and prove to you that their energy is not only stable, but understanding of yours. But journaling is one of the healing messages you've got, so that could be a helpful reflection tool. It could also be helpful for you to organize some of your thoughts and how you're truly feeling. We have look for the signs. That's that high priestess energy of just gathering as much information as you can, really, really just in that period of gaining a higher perspective, a bigger, broader perspective, not acting yet, and just letting those voices sort of talk themselves into a corner, because I feel like you're going to get a very detailed picture at the end of this full moon, and it's going to really help you with your journey forward. We have talked to your angels. Your guardians are always there. Ask them for support. We have crystals here, so that's a good way of grounding and just incorporating nature. I feel like crystals might be helpful too if you're doing a releasing ritual this full moon. It might be helpful for you to use a bit of black tourmaline or obsidian for protection against harmful energies and anything that is confusing or that leads to unwarranted fears and doubts. A protection ritual might be helpful. Or you could try to burn some incense and asked for clarity by using sort of clear quartz and a bit of selenite, and I would even recommend amethyst for you guys, maybe even some what do they call it, flower agate, because it aligns all 7 of your chakras, and you do have the 7 chakras here. 7 chakras, when they're in alignment, things just happen easily. We have refocus your energy, and I do feel that because they're asking you to take back control, and you're doing this passively this full moon by sitting in your powerful, intuitive, all-knowing abilities and gathering as much information as you can for your highest good. So group 1, that's what I see for you. That is what I'm predicting for your full moon in Virgo. I hope it was informative and entertaining. Do feel free to pick a different group if you would like. Otherwise, thank you for all of your support, and I shall see you in another video. Bye. Hi group 2, and welcome. If you chose the Courage bracelet, then this is going to be your reading. Group 2, small warning, Kirk is really attention seeking at the moment. I've spent all day with him. I haven't left the house once today, not even to go to the gym. And he's still just doing his attention-seeking behaviors. So we'll see how he goes. But group 2, this is about you, not Kirk. We're asking Spirit for your full moon in Virgo predictions. We're going to be seeing what this full moon will mean for you. It is going to be occurring on the 27th of this month, February. So this is one of the only readings I do that isn't timeless. This reading is specifically for the full moon in Virgo. That being said, a full moon's energy can last a week after it has happened, and sometimes a week before. Honestly, for me, this one started a week before, 100%. I've been analytical as hell. So let's see what's been going on for you guys. The Courage bracelet. Please, Spirit, for group 2, where did that accent come from? For group 2, what can they expect for their full moon in Virgo? Group 2's full moon in Virgo, please. Group 2's full moon in Virgo. What can they expect? Group 2. Woo, 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 woo. Yeah, very analytical, but on a positive note, we do have a reason to celebrate in the next 2 weeks. Potentially very soon, is what I want to tell you. Wait a second. What else? Sorry, Spirit? Yeah, okay, that's beautiful. Bottom deck energy is the Page of Cups. I'm sure this was in the last group's reading. I'm not going to lie, I took a little break and I'm back between the groups, mostly because I've been doing a lot of filming and I just wanted to look after number 1 first. So with the World card coming out first, group 2, I really do see a reason for celebration, some sort of achievement, a milestone that you could potentially be hitting. I'm kind of getting that this is the end of a really tough cycle, like full moon in Capricorn vibes, which is interesting. I almost feel like you're being recognized for something that you've been doing, group 2. This is, oh my gosh, I have a lot of flies. I'm so sorry. You're going to be in the spotlight somehow. And the interesting thing about this card is that it has Saturn's energy influencing it. Saturn is a planet that is ruled by both Capricorn and Aquarius. And I feel that this is the end of a very long, potentially tough cycle, but more so it's an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Like I'm feeling a lot of Aquarius here, a lot of Uranus energy, a lot of reinvention, future, thinking about the future, feeling somewhat optimistic about the next cycle in your life, but having this opportunity to kind of just dwell in the end of this achievement. It's quite wholesome. Now, I want to say that you're thinking about this a lot because the next 2 cards that came out for you was the 10 of Swords and the King of Swords as well. So the 10 of Swords is that end of tough cycle we were talking about. So I do think that you're going to have a lot of reflection. You're going to have a lot of opportunity to think. Look at him go. He's going to probably howl in the hallway. I do think that this is a positive change for you. I think that it comes after a lot of potentially internalizing things. You almost have the opportunity to tell your story here. during this full moon. I want to say that you're still in a highly analytical headspace, and that could be Virgo's influence in this full moon. Virgo is a star sign that is influenced by Mercury, so I feel like you're kind of in this energy of thinking, planning, trying to stay optimistic, especially as you end this cycle. Like, I'm kind of getting this energy of you don't really know what the next step is, but you're open to a lot of possibilities. And I'm almost hearing for some of you that it's got to be better than this. So for some of you, you are literally kind of coming out of something quite jarring, and it's time to breathe is what I feel. Like, it's time to breathe. I honestly see this as a positive reading for you, Group 2. I know that this imagery is quite confronting, but it's the end. And with all these cards being upright, it's very positive. It feels like a positive end here. Like, I feel like I can just go for you. And I also feel a sense of community around you, whether these people are able to be with you physically or at a distance. You're being recognized. You're having all the eyes on you. You're being rewarded for your efforts, and you're being recognized for your achievements. Your Page of Cups over here is a playful, lighthearted, fun, charismatic energy who may be instigating a lot of joyful moments. Like, I'm hearing laughter, and I'm also hearing like friends catching up, and that's because of the cards down here. But I want to start with the Temperance card for you. Temperance for me is giving me this reconciliation energy of vibing everything that you've been through, sharing your story as well. I do think you're going to have the chance to talk about something with people, and having an opportunity to have a bit of fun. Like, if you have been especially isolated and feeling like you got stuck in your daily routine and stuck doing the same thing over and over and over again, not really feeling like you're able to break out of it or instigate a lot of moments of joy and fun and presentness, then I see that changing. I see you having an opportunity here to have more balance and more social energy. I don't know how, but this weekend with this full moon could be helping you feel more connected, more recognized, and more ready for the next phase of your life. Speaking of the next phase, we have the Page of Wands down here reversed. So Group 2, what I feel is that there's something that you're entertaining mentally, but your energy isn't 100% invested. You could be a bit hesitant to jump into this because it feels like a foreign situation. This could be moving, and you're not sure about where yet, or you're not sure about the process, or you're not sure about something about this is jarring because there's a lack of experience here. There's a lack of understanding of what lies on the other end and how this can be the safest, most successful outcome. It almost feels like there is a level of excitement here, but at this moment in time, the full moon is going to make you feel more nervous than excited. There's some sort of information here that challenges your perception on this new journey. I want to say that with time and with more sort of release and talking, especially if you're able to talk about how you feel, you're going to feel more comfortable, and you're going to be able to share these thoughts and also obtain other people's experiences, which is going to help curb some of the fear. I really honestly think that you're going to be a little bit more social across this full moon. I don't know how, but you're going to have some playful yet meaningful conversations that seem to really help you with something that you've been going through recently, help your mind settle some of these invasive thoughts. I heard pervasive thoughts, so that's interesting. Now, we also have the Two of Cups down here, considering well, not considering, it's kind of highlighting some sort of compromised union. So that could have been that coming together energy that I was feeling. This kind of indicates a friendship. It could be someone who is a love interest. There could be a bit of love for you this full moon. But for whatever reason, it's very playful. Like, it's nothing too serious at this point. And there's acknowledgement between the two of you that it's taken a lot for you to get to this point. Even if this is a friend, I feel like they've had to cover a distance to get to you, or it's been a while since you've been able to talk like this, or it just feels like this is almost a reconciliation between you and this person. Like, you guys have either time has passed between you, distance has come between you, other obstacles in life have come between you. We're ending a lot of tough cycles with this full moon, and a lot of it is also because we're opening our mind to being more proactive with our thought process and with our decision making. There's a side of Mercury that overthinks and makes us doubt our actions, but you're on the other side you're here gaining information actively and in new ways because you're coming out of something that took a very long time and was very limiting in your resources. Like, I feel like for some of you, you haven't had a lot of action. You've just been persevering through something quite monotonous for quite some time. Now, with the Five of Pentacles coming out for you, Group 2, this is kind of indicating a challenge when it comes to your finances. So just double check your bank account before you go out this weekend. It's as simple as that. I also think that we need to start planning for the immediate future when it comes to our finances. Do we have any unexpected payments coming out at the end of the month that we need to transfer money into our account to account for? This is very practical advice, but this feels like a practical card. There is some sort of unexpected payment coming out at the end of this month that it may be helpful for you to just double check your account before you take it out. I'm hearing like Afterpay and those sorts of things, like those layaway payments, those sorts of things. Just double check your account. Now, the other message with this is covering some sort of distance with someone based on like health needs. So I'm not too sure if you feel like you haven't been able to invest enough time or energy into certain relationships because of the current circumstances, whatever that means, whether it's because of COVID or whether it's just because people are trying to be safer and more mindful of interacting. But I also feel that we're having some sort of creative solution to this issue. Like, I do feel like you guys are going to have a social weekend. I feel like somehow you're having some sort of meaningful conversation. It may not be super heartfelt, but it is meaningful enough to really give you the advice that you need, the confidence that you need, and the courage that you need to start this new journey. It's very interesting. I want to clarify this Five of Pentacles just to see if there's anything that I've missed aside from the practical advice, because it could be pertaining to a relationship as well, but I'm not picking up on that vibe immediately. Have I missed anything with that Five of Pentacles, please, Spirit? We have the King of Cups. Excuse my mouth. We have the King of Cups. So that's interesting. A very, very emotively motivated person struggling to communicate how they truly feel. You know what? You could have a very contrived conversation with someone who has deeper feelings than they're letting on. So keep that in mind. Your mind isn't playing tricks on you. This full moon, someone is going to be holding their tongue. They're really masking how they truly feel. It's out of I feel like someone's trying to catch up to you, Group 2. So this is just a little side note. It may not be as significant as the rest of your messages, and you may not even cross paths with this person, but this person is in your energy. They feel like they just can't catch up to you. They want to say more. They want to do more. They want to be more physically active in your life. But this person is holding a lot of emotions beneath the surface, and they seem to be quite controlling when it comes to their feelings for you. I think they want to say more, they want to do more, but they can't. They could be this Two of Cups person. They could have some of this reconciliation energy tied into them. But I honestly feel with this Eight of Wands that their communication with you is delayed, and they're feeling like they need to, either they're pressed for time and they need to catch up to you, they need to hurry and deliver a message to you, or they're actually not going to be successful in actually seeing you at the period of the full moon, and they're just going to be in your energy field, because I feel like this person was expecting to see you this weekend. I don't know why. Who is this person, please? What else do they want to say to Group 2 before I move on? What else does this person want to say? The King of Pentacles reversed. So their future looks different now, apparently. They may not be as stable as you thought they were. For some of you, this person is telling me they could be getting out of a relationship with the King of Pentacles reversed. Something about this person's circumstances have changed and they want to tell you about it. What else do they want to say to Group 2 before I move forward, please? What else does this person want to say to Group 2? The Seven of Swords reversed. They're trying to do the right thing. This person is saying that apparently the reason they're withholding communication is because they're trying to do the right thing. They're trying to do it the right way this time. They're not giving up, but they don't want to do the same thing as last time. They don't want to come across as the same person as last time and risk losing it all again. They really think about you a lot. We got the Five of Pentacles coming out again under here, but they definitely don't want to cause more stress, more pain, or more, I'm hearing shame than necessary for some of you. But with the Queen of Wands here, they're very attracted to you. You make this person very happy. They're potentially overcoming some sort of heartbreak, so they could have recently separated from a partner. With the Judgment card here, it's like they see clearly now, but they feel it's too late. They're questioning whether a resurrection is potentially on the cards for you. I feel you overall out here trying to balance your energies, trying to reconcile your own energies, and you doing so brings these other people out of the woodworks, these other people who you still have energetic connections to. They're feeling you reconcile the energy within you, and they seem to want to be a part of that. We have strength in the reverse. This person doesn't have the strength to be a more active role model. They're almost waiting for the divine to open the door for them. I don't know why I said role model. For some of you, this could be the father of your children or something, but it feels like this person wants to be a more active model in your life. Like they want to be more actively present for you, but they can't. Spirit's saying they don't have the courage to do that right now. They're waiting for divine to intervene. Anyway, what a tangent. Let's continue with your messages. Group 2, please, Spirit. What can you tell us about Group 2's full moon in Virgo experience? What can you tell us about Group 2's full moon in Virgo, please? Group 2's full moon in Virgo. What can you tell us? Some of you may be traveling in the near future. You're going to get clarity about this full moon. Yeah, something is changing for you guys, but we have to end this cycle first. You know what? That's a heck of a lot. Let's cut it there. The moon reverse, some secrets are coming to light. You have some information to process this new moon. You're going to be dissecting elements that were hidden from you in the past. And I feel like a lot of this clarity is coming to you because of a conversation you are having with someone. Someone close to you is, or maybe they're not even close to you with this Page of Cups. They may be somewhat of an unconventional character in the sense of you might have seen them as someone who wasn't as well versed as you in this area. They may be younger than you, for example. They may be slightly more immature, or just you may be surprised by what they have to offer you. I think you end up getting some very wise advice in the next 2 weeks, the next 7 days specifically, that helps you look at your situation from a different angle. Suddenly it's not all bad. Suddenly there's hope. Suddenly the struggle means that we can finally put an end to a certain pattern, a certain cycle, and we can start a new cycle this time. So I was seeing open road. I do feel like you're going to get clarity about some sort of pathway forward. For some of you, this is travel, this is moving. We're shining light on your situation now. We're getting out of something tough and into something that is more direct, is what I feel. We have the universe here, so there is a sense of connectedness, if that's a word, collective energy, collective consciousness. I honestly see a community around you. You are going to be more social in this period somehow. I'm not sure. It's going to be different for each and every one of you, but you feel incredibly connected to the world around you in this period. Very reflective, and I want to say retrospective thinking. Like you're really out here looking at the bigger picture during this period. We have watchdogs, so I feel like someone definitely has their eye on you. They're going to be in your energy, so keep in mind this person could have a broken heart when it comes to you. I feel like the overall goal of this full moon, though, is to try to help you raise your vibration. And I feel like this energy feels foreign. Like you maybe pick up on it occasionally. You have some really low moods and it feels really out of nowhere. You guys will know if this is you because it will stand out to you. It will seem random. It will seem like it's just coming out of nowhere. But I think that overall, the information that is finding you in this period is aimed at raising your vibration and helping you see the positives, because you're coming out of something tough. Spirit really wants you to let go of any energies you feel you may have been suppressing, especially emotions. So the full moon for you, I'm seeing a healthy balance here of initially maybe you're wanting to cling to these cycles that you're leaving behind, but eventually you're going to have some form of social interaction that helps you go back to your routine, your home, your safe space, and look at things differently. This information is going to trigger some feelings. I think that the full moon for you is going to be a good opportunity to sort of examine some of the feelings that you may have been suppressing. Give yourself room to breathe, basically, and if you need to cry, let it out. A full moon is a wonderful opportunity to purge old energy, and crying is a way of purging. It's natural. It's a process that can help us get rid of the things that we've been suppressing, that we've been holding down, so that we can clear room for our new intentions and our new manifestations. And I really do feel a new cycle happening very soon for you guys. We have camouflage, so someone is lurking in your peripheral, keeping a very close eye on you. Spirit is saying there is a way forward that you aren't completely aware of now. You may not be feeling called to focus on this for a reason. I don't think you're supposed to be obsessed with this energy. I think you're really just supposed to be obsessed with your energy. Someone seems to be obsessed with you. Yeah, we have glasses. I can see clearly now. This person's energy has infiltrated your reading because they've gained clarity about you, and they're trying to project themselves into your timeline. I do think if this is meant to happen, it's meant to happen. But with the Tower here, Spirit is indicating this person has to clear out some of the rubble from their own life before they're going to come close to you. The Divine will protect you from what is not meant for you right now. And if this person isn't an active part of your life right now, it's because they're not meant to be. We have Mother here. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of opportunity to nurture yourself. Virgo's sign is very nurturing. It can be a very health motivated, sort of service to others motivated card. You may have the opportunity to nurture some people you care about, but obviously start inward. And I honestly see some of you just spending time to sort of reconcile and balance your energy here. Yeah, the self, focusing on yourself. Start with yourself, and then if you have energy left over, offer that to the community around you, but start with yourself. You may be repairing something physically in your home, Spirit is saying, so be mindful of appliances. With Virgo being a sign that is linked to Mercury, I just want to say be careful with your appliances. Something may go faulty this weekend, but I do see it being like a temporary mishap, like your internet might go down for half a day. Prepare for any delays like that. Just something silly that is so frustrating and it really puts a spanner in the works, but it can be solved within 48 hours, something like that. Just be careful. We have hot springs over here, so something is bubbling beneath the surface, and I feel that you can kind of feel this tension building, but use it as like a vacation period. Like, you're really not being called to follow this closely. Whatever this bubbling is, you're meant to just jump in the hot springs and sort of marinate in the minerals. Like, don't take action yet. Spirit is really encouraging you to celebrate the end of this cycle first before the new one can begin. Inferno. So this new one may be beginning seemingly out of nowhere. I do feel a level of excitement here with this Page of Wands, but at the moment we're a little bit afraid, we're a little bit nervous, we're uncertain, we feel inexperienced. We're going to gain clarity to help us feel more optimistic, and I feel that once we're on the right track, things might happen very, very quickly for us. We have Leap here. Yeah, things might be changing very, very quickly. Heaven, I do see bright days ahead for you because you are coming full circle with the Master here. I really, honestly, this is a really good reading for you guys. You're not being called to do a heck of a lot this full moon. It's more so about celebrating your achievements and preparing for the next cycle, purging the old and making room for the new. There is something brewing over here with this Watcher person, but that isn't your problem right now. It's all about yourself, mothering yourself, preparing yourself for this new cycle. There's a blessing here with this Leap. Once you feel you have enough information, I honestly think that things are going to start moving very quickly for you guys. So, Group 2. I'm just going to finish your reading with some healing cards, and we'll see what Spirit's advice for you is, because a full moon does instigate feelings sometimes. We get a bit excited at the start of the full moon, and then either in the lead up or as the moon is coming to an end. What is the word? Is it waning? Is that what a full moon is? When it starts to shrink? You guys should correct me, please. Is it waning or waxing? But as the full moon starts to turn into a new moon again, these feelings can come through again. So these strong sort of feelings, that excitement from the full moons passes and we get some heavier stuff left. So for Group 2, what healing information may be helpful for them? What healing information, excuse me, holy heck. What healing information may be helpful? Thank you. We have spell work. So if you are someone like me who writes your intentions, says your affirmations, does a release charm, I also do new moon rituals. My full moon ritual is more just lounge, purge, cry, journal. If you have been considering spell work, Spirit is saying do it. Spell work doesn't have to be completely hoodoo voodoo. It can be like cooking your favorite stew and putting in herbs that promote prosperity and protection. I feel like rosemary for you guys, especially when it comes to cooking. Rosemary for me is a herb of protection. So cook something hearty and put a lot of rosemary in it, as well as some rock salt if you can. This could be Himalayan salt. This could just be the white rock salt that we have. But I feel like for you guys, there is a level of protection here. And I did pick up on this with Group 1. But spell work can be as simple as cooking. It could also be be saying your prayers. That's a form of spell casting. You're asking for protection, you're acknowledging where things are going wrong, and you're asking for blessings. You're affirming what you want, and you're trying to manifest with positive energy. So praying is a form of spell work. My mother and I talk about this all the time because she's very traditional religious. All right, third eye chakra coming out here. I think here with the third eye chakra, there is an element here of being intuitive and feeling your way through this instinctually. Don't rush. If you feel like your body is telling you to slow down, slow it down. If you feel like your body is telling you to go out tonight because you think that that's going to help with your vibration, go out. It's really about feeling your way through this. There is no wrong answer. You're in a transition period, group 2, and this full moon is really about closing one cycle and starting a new one for you. We have let go, so they do want you to just live in the present, to not feel too rushed, to not feel too pressured. We have talked to the moon. Honestly, that is just healing. It is. I don't know if you guys, when we were kids, Mum would always tell us that the moon was this scary thing, but I was always fascinated by it. And to this day, I always take a moment to look at the moon. So talking to the moon could be a way of releasing some of the heavier stuff, setting your intentions for the next cycle, and just recognizing what you've achieved thus far as well. We have talked to your pets, so you are being encouraged to connect with nature. And here's that salt. I didn't even see it. Salt bath. Salt, salt, salt. If you don't feel comfortable ingesting salt, maybe you retain fluid easily, I do think that a salt bath or a salt scrub might be helpful for you. You can honestly use any salt, just make sure it's really fine. You don't want, especially if it's a scrub, you don't want it to be too harsh on your skin. If you want to do it in a bath way, the finer the crystals, the quicker, technically, the quicker they will dissolve, but you could use chunkier crystals. I just think for you, it's about purging and protecting. So salt is very helpful for that. We also have cut out all negative energy. Absolutely. You're being called to start from within first, to really nurture and mother yourself, and then to extend slowly. But make sure you do it slowly. We don't want to go too far and then burn out. We have journal here, and 100%. I'm a massive journaling fan. So group 2, that's what I have for you. That's what Virgo has for you, the full moon in Virgo. I hope this was fun for you, an interesting reading. Look after yourself. Try to stay sane through this process, and I'll see you in another video. Bye. Hi group 3, and welcome. If you chose the turtle bracelet, the woven turtle bracelet, no less. I actually really want to wear this after this. I might wear it. Then this is going to be your reading. Sorry for that little tangent. Today's reading is directed at the full moon in Virgo, which, if my calculations are correct, they're not very well calculated at all. I think it's the 27th of this month, the second last day of this month. The thing about a full moon's energy is that it can last several days before and several days after. I usually start to get super emotional the week before, and then I just get heightened and social in the week of, and then afterwards I get a bit, oh gosh, what was that? So everyone responds differently, and I've started to realize that the signs do hold bearings. So if you are a Virgo, or you know about Virgo, they tend to be analytical, slow-moving, a little bit too calculated at times, and constantly seeking deeper meaning. So that's a very stereotypical way of describing it, but just expect that with a full moon's energy, basically. Let's see how this will impact you, group 3. How will the full moon in Virgo impact group 3, please, Spirit? We have the Hanged Man, speaking of analytical and thinking. All right, the Hanged Man upright, though. This is positive, okay? You're not going to be stuck. You're actually going to want this. Ooh, we got the King of Cups coming out. That's that full moon energy for you. We got the Six of Wands in reverse. Question marks. I'll clarify that. Can I get one more card? And we have the Queen of Wands reverse. Group 3. This is interesting. Look at this. Do you see what I see? Oh my gosh. Crystal's like, no. We have a Queen over here looking back at a potential loss, with the King of Cups looking forward, almost above this loss. And in secret is what I want to say, because I don't think this Queen of Wands realizes that the King's heart is still open. Okay, so some of you could be dealing with someone very, very close to you in terms of there's some sort of partner or like a mutual, someone who is at the same level of you, and this could be romantic. This King of Cups thinks game on, you know, game on. It's this weekend, game on. Hanged Man, they've thought about this, they've got their information, they've got their emotions in check, they've processed something potentially emotional in their recent past. They're feeling hopeful, they're feeling optimistic, they're still not expressing, but their energy is, you know what, I'm here, I'm ready. What they're hiding behind is some sort of failure, something that is, it feels like it's suppressed. I don't think it's technically failure, Group 3. Maybe it looked like failure because to you, you don't see the truth. Like you're looking at this and this might just be a daydream for you, or this might be, so this Queen of Wands isn't expecting this. It kind of feels like this is something that needs to happen privately. I want to say for some of you, it could be happening in a public situation, but you're kind of pulled to the side. This feels like a private conversation that is emotionally fueled. Whether it leads to a heart-to-heart conversation depends on the Queen of Wands' energy. The King of Cups has an emotional message to deliver secretly in a public situation. And the Queen of Wands over here, with her being reversed, it's almost like this person's hiding. In this situation, I don't know who you resonate as, because I'm kind of picking up that some of you are this King of Cups. But this Queen of Wands, very attractive, very attracted to this King of Cups, even if they're very good at hiding it. This person does find this person to be very attractive. This person seems to be protecting themselves because they're almost afraid of failure or of not having mutual energy exchange. This seems to be the Queen of Wands' fear. This Six of Wands reversed, almost like disappointment or failure to meet these hidden expectations, this hidden desire, this hidden energy. So this Queen of Wands is suppressing a lot of passion and a lot of attraction, but the energy doesn't lie. You would pick up on this if you're the King of Cups. You'd pick up on that. But this Queen of Wands, it's like almost this person's hiding there in this situation. They might be trying to join the crowd and be a part of the crowd, and the King of Cups is like, can I just talk to you for a second? Like, it's really interesting. I am like, what is going on? But look what the bottom deck energy is. The Four of Wands. So this is balance, this is harmony, this is peace, this is love, this is romance, this is celebration. This is potentially everything that you may both want. But I'm just kind of like, why does the Queen of Wands hide like that? I'm going to, oh, okay, that's a hidden clue apparently, 10 of Wands. This Queen of Wands may be going through a lot right now. This Queen of Wands may have this concern that in the past, they were the ones who carried all of the expectations or all of the responsibility of a relationship. This person's afraid of having her desires not met. And I'm only saying her because it's the Queen. This could be a masculine who is hiding, very attracted to you, but just not wanting to take initiative. The Queen of Wands isn't someone who would typically take initiative. They kind of draw people towards them and then wait to see what they would do. Whereas the King of Cups, similar, passive. But in this energy, this King of Cups doesn't want to miss out on something and is wanting to execute some sort of plan. I want to say this King of Cups is afraid of failure as well, but like the fear of inaction outweighs the failure, okay? This King of Wands energy coming out now. This person, you guys seem to be a match, but one person is really coming with an emotive message and the other person's energy is there, but on the surface, they're either pretending to be disinterested or they're just trying to hide, is what it feels like. I think that this person is trying to almost hide from you in this situation. Interesting. If that resonates, if you see yourself as the King of Cups, or you will be the one trying to get away. What else is happening for them, though, this full moon in Virgo, please, Spirit? What else is happening for Group 3, this full moon in Virgo? We have the Three of Cups, so absolutely, there is going to be some sort of social situation for you guys. with the Six of Wands, the Three of Cups. I see like a gathering of some sort of friendship thing going on here, some sort of opportunity to get together. And it's interesting. Look at these cards that just fell out. I said there's some sort of opportunity to get together. This is a very complicated full moon in Virgo. I don't know how many people you have around you, but we now have 2 kings, 2 queens, 3 queens, sorry, and the Knight of Wands. Plus, we're being indicated that there's going to be some sort of crowd and a small group of friends. So I don't know what weekend you're having. I don't know what kind of festival this is, because we still can't go to festivals here in Australia. So I don't know, but listen, there's something really complex happening around you. I think you may have the opportunity this weekend to talk about your feelings, but depending on who you resonate with, someone here is avoidant and the other person is really just trying to let it out, because this is something that they've been suppressing for some time. It could be a positive or a negative situation based on these cards, because I'm kind of getting that it's a really tricky space to navigate, mostly because of timing. Someone here feels like they're running out of time with the Three of Wands. You're going to experience mild delays this weekend or a change of plans, so expect that. Mild delays or a change of plans, okay? Based upon something that you've set for yourself this weekend, it's going to be switching up almost last minute. Doesn't mean that whatever you were planning to do is cancelled forever. It just means that you've got to be a bit flexible here, and that might put you in a bad mood, okay? With the Queen of Swords here, I do think that there's going to be the opportunity to speak your mind, but I see someone being afraid to approach you because you might not open up completely, or you might say something that could really hurt them. I kind of feel like there's a queen here who is repelling and hiding. There's a queen here who is cutting someone's head off for saying the wrong thing. And there's a queen here who is nurturing and achieving and stable and humble is what I'm getting, like humble. So I don't know if you can be all 3 in one weekend. It's going to be a wild weekend. But I'm feeling with these 2 masculine energies over here, someone has to say something very honest and from the heart. They've been planning this for a long time. They've been thinking about this for a long time. They're using this social opportunity to finally make it happen, and it's going to change this Queen of Wands' future. It's going to change the direction, her course of action, her weekend's plans. The concerns here seem to be saying the right thing at the right time for both of these parties. The King of Cups has to say the right thing at the right time. The Queen of Wands has to say the right thing at the right time as well, because the energy is there. Even if physically she's trying to hide herself, the energy is there. The Queen of Pentacles is almost blessing this situation, but could also be pertaining to commitments elsewhere. The Queen of Pentacles could indicate a married woman, for example, or someone who has strong family responsibilities or strong family obligations. There's some sort of deep-rooted commitment here that could potentially be a blockage. Otherwise, it's a blessing. If you feel like this isn't going to be too heavily interfered by some sort of commitment, either family or otherwise, I think that this Queen of Wands is foreshadowing a lengthy sort of commitment, like a long-term opportunity here, dependent on how this conversation goes, whether it's with this King of Cups or without them. These emotions have to be expressed, and on your side, receiving them will change your future. I don't want to say it's negative, but it is unexpected with the Knight of Wands coming out. There's something about this that is spontaneous. You could decide to travel somewhere that weekend with this person. You could decide to travel somewhere else by yourself that weekend. It instigates excitement though, a little bit of nervousness because you had something planned and now you have to think on the fly. So if you're someone who doesn't cope with change well, this could be a little bit like, oof. But I think overall there is excitement here. I think it's overall very much something that you were wanting in your life, a little bit of action. With the Two of Cups reversed, I think more of these heart-to-heart conversations need to happen with this person, because there is indicating this energy of maybe this person isn't always available for you to talk to them. Maybe there's someone who is coming and going from your life frequently. There's an indication here that after the full moon there may be a separation, and there will need to be ongoing conversations with this person if you want to have them to be a part of your life, or vice versa, if they want to be a part of your life. This person may need to prove something to you. What I do see with the Hermit here, that it is about trusting your inner guidance. It is about using this situation for your benefit and navigating through this in a way that gives you clarity, gives you hope, because I'm getting this newfound optimism after this weekend, this newfound sense of, okay, well, that didn't go as I planned, but it isn't bad. And you kind of seem to end the weekend alone, in reflection mode again, just thinking and stewing and mulling it over. If you have Virgo in your charts, I think it would be helpful for you to understand what part of your chart Virgo falls under, whether it's associated with a planet or a house, and just kind of figuring out how that may impact you during this full moon as well. Because full moons, for me, in a very layman's term, it's like a way of amplifying emotions, and then to put that into the perspective of a Virgo sign, which is not at all about amplifying emotions. It's kind of like we're over analyzing everything, or we're really, really seeking a deeper meaning in every situation. We're really, really, really trying to deeply connect to every situation. It's like the exaggerated energy of a Virgo. So I really do think that depending on where it falls in your charts, this situation could end up being very pleasantly surprising, especially if you are open to having this heart-to-heart conversation. Bottom deck energy is the Knight of Swords. So honestly, quick action, rushing, breathlessness, word vomit potentially. They could say something that's very shocking to you that you weren't expecting at all. I feel like it's coming in, and it's coming in fast. So let's keep going. I want to get more cards to clarify. But this is a very specific message, Group 3. If you think there's no way in hell that something like this could happen to you, you may feel like looking at one of the other groups, because the first two that I've filmed so far weren't this specific. This is a very specific message, but I couldn't deny, based on that initial spread, what I was seeing, and it's kind of played into all of this as well. So interesting. Let's get some deck of character cards. Group 3, please, Spirit. What can they expect for their full moon in Virgo? What can Group 3, excuse me, no, excuse you, jail cell apparently, okay. Yeah, someone has been thinking about this for a very long time, and they're very concerned about being liberated here. Let me out. Excuse me. Maybe potentially wanting to fix something with you and tell you something about themselves. Anyway, what is going on for Group 3 this full moon in Virgo? What can they expect? Excuse you. Oh my lord. Band-Aid, gold mine, gold coins. This person could be very curious about some recent success you've had. I also am getting a message that this person is concerned that you might be moving away from them. So take that as it resonates, but maybe you're traveling away from this person and they're trying to reach you before you go. They're trying to communicate with you before you go. Someone here could be going somewhere. Is there anything else from this beautiful deck for group? Thank you. I was about to say 3. 2. We have dust here. So you know what I'm hearing? That song by Rimon, Dust. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. That's not how it goes. How does it go? What are the lyrics? Oh, my veins filled with dust. No closure for us. Now you swallowed my trust. Oh my lord, okay, that's quite heavy. But dust is your bottom deck energy. So dust for me is this feeling of like something truly being obliterated. However, when it's in this frame of mind, I'm seeing that this person is moving so quickly to tell you how they feel, to shed light on this situation. However, like I'm feeling like this person may try to pull you away from a public scene, and people might still be peeping out at you trying to figure out what's going to happen. But I also see that this is opening a new door of opportunities from you, because some of you guys have been isolated for a very long time, and you've been manifesting something like this for a while as well. This could take place in your home, but I'm also seeing that there's something about being social, dancing, and club energy, like disco balls apparently, lights and things like that. Anyway, someone's home and there's disco balls there. What I'm kind of getting is that they're moving so quickly. This situation is like this Knight of Swords person is moving so quickly, they're leaving a trail of dust behind them. They might just get a message that, you know, so-and-so, I'm going to be doing this, and the Queen of Wands is going to be there. And all of a sudden they're like, boom, I'm going to be there too. Like, give me 3 hours, I'll be there. It's like, what? Okay, random, very last minute, spontaneous. Anyway, if we start from the beginning, there is an energy of fixing something around you. When the repairman came out in the last group, I also just gave a quick disclaimer, mostly because of the analytical Mercury placements in Virgo's sign. I do give a warning when there's a full moon, just allow for potential breakdowns of like technology or like little miscommunications of you potentially misreading, like just little things like that. I feel like appliances may go a bit haywire. They may not last. It may come back or start working again that same day or within 48 hours, but I feel like there's going to be this fixer energy. Virgo is also someone who is focused on health, and the 6th house talks about being in service to others. The 6th house is also associated with Virgo, so I kind of feel like there's a feeling here of service and fixing and focusing on longevity as well. We also have angsty teen, so someone here is really in their feels and in a mood for communicating feelings, is what I want to say. When I think of angsty, I think of like a moody person who is potentially lashing out to mask some deeper feelings. So I don't know if you resonate as that or if someone around you might be like that, but be wary of that behavior. We have plateau over here, so there is going to be a little bit of a Zen opportunity this weekend, I feel, where you can just vibe. You don't have to be too concerned about being too high or too low when it comes to your energy and your moods. There seems to be a bit of a plateau there where you're able to simply be present and enjoy the food that's in your mouth, the air that's on your skin, the breeze that's going through your hair, like just this energy of being more present, not too concerned. Sunken ship is saying that there is something around you that is suppressed, potentially being revealed to you this weekend. We have poet over here as well, so I do feel like a heartfelt message is coming your way, something very specific that has been suppressed for some time with the majestic whale. I think it's a pleasant surprise, okay? Someone here is running from it, but it seems to be something that offers a good outcome. I think of the majestic whale as like a sign of good fortune nowadays. Like when I get that card, it's kind of like, wow. Whales are the kind of creatures, they're huge and that can be a bit scary when you're close to them, but we can't not look at them do their flips and push water out of their blowholes. Like there's something about this that feels like it just strikes us, and we can't help but appreciate the circumstances. We have smoke over here for you, so I do see something kind of coming to light and clearing up. It could potentially be more confusing unless this heart-to-heart conversation happens. With candle here, I feel like someone is holding a vigil in the sense of someone is manifesting something or believing in something that could have failed in the past. It's like they're wishing it into existence as we speak. We have drunken sailor, so there could be alcohol involved in your full moon in Virgo. We have open road, so I see obstacles clearing from your path, offering you a new, very direct direction. There has to be not immediate, but temporary delays in order for this open road to open up. We have graveyard here, so something that once buried is being re-mentioned or is resurfacing this weekend. We have rock over here. So I do feel like there's an opportunity to I'm getting this in two ways. Some people are having a very hard time opening up, okay? Some people are just becoming this rock and they're not allowing things to penetrate. They're not allowing things to get out. They're just being very hard to read, hard to talk to, hard to get alone. On the other side, I'm seeing a solid opportunity here with that rock card, a solid opportunity. We have bed, so some of y'all could be having time in bed. I'm thinking of that sexually, but on the other hand, there's going to be ample opportunity to rest after this and to really enter that hermit mode again and just think things through in a positive way, going within to gain clarity. And really going within for you is about understanding your soul's needs. What is the best for you moving forward? We're also being shown the jail cell, so I do feel like it's almost like we're holding ourselves back, or something that was holding us back is going to kind of be brought forward. Like I'm getting this energy of like jailed and suppressed and bound and diving deep and resurfacing. It's really bizarre. And with the repairman here, there is this primary energy of fixing something and wanting success. We have the treadmill here. So I feel like now this weekend would be a good opportunity for you to start a new routine. If you feel like you've just been going through the motions and doing the same thing and getting the same results and it's not really getting you where you want to be and you're a bit bored, Virgo is, and the 6th house is associated with routine. So this full moon might be a good idea to examine what parts of your life aren't sort of bringing you that joy that you want. Where have you gotten a bit stale, and how can you fix this by resetting your routine a little bit, especially around health. We have lounge chair over here, so there is going to be ample time to relax. Even though you seem to have a lot of people around you, you are going to be able to relax. Maybe you just have a lot of people in your energy. You're just thinking about a lot of people. All right, let's get some quick healing messages. What could be the most helpful for group 3, this full moon in Virgo? What healing messages do they need to hear? Yeah, this is interesting. I feel like this person triggers you, okay? Bottom deck energy is ground your energy in nature, and I was kind of seeing a little bit of nature here. We got the rock, we got the majestic whale, this beautiful plateau, kind of the sunken ship, I guess. It kind of feels like something is going to feel like it's attacking or threatening your peace, but it's not. We have to slightly disrupt this situation in order to gain further stability, because this weekend's main goal is to stabilize something that was barely solid. Like, you're in this energy of seeming to want to expand, so the universe is going, all right, let me throw this at you then. Let me bring this person back. Let me put you in this situation. Let me give you that to think about. We have heal your shadow, and we did have the moon under this dust. So something is being brought to light, and it's giving you the opportunity to work through some feelings or some thoughts that you had been suppressing. It might be the opportunity to gain emotional closure from someone from your past. We have cord cutting over here, so I do see us starting new cycles, but in order to do that, we have to end the old routines. We have to really examine what we want to stop, what we want to cut out of our life. And this weekend is more about examining and thinking about how we want to change, not necessarily making those steps yet, but looking at what we do want to change. We have heal your inner child wounds. So I honestly think that there's going to be things brought up that instigate feelings from your childhood or wounds from your childhood, maybe certain things, certain ways that you were treated in your past. You're going to have the opportunity to heal them, though. This isn't meant to trigger you and cause you to feel the pain of those wounds, but it is meant to remind you that some of those wounds are still open, and now is one of the opportunities, one of the rare opportunities, I want to say, with the majestic whale coming out, for you to actually heal some of those wounds. We have let go. Spirit is encouraging you to open up and to not run. Some of you guys are in this runner energy, especially if you think your divine counterpart might be coming back this weekend. You're kind of trying to run and avoid them, but they're very adamant. They really want this heart-to-heart conversation. Talk to the moon is coming out, so really embracing those moments under the full moon's energy. It might be a good idea to charge yourself in the moonlight this weekend if you can. Just sit in your backyard, or if you find yourself out and about, do look up to the sky and just sort of let it in and let it cleanse you. I think that this is all about expression for you, and healthy expressions, because we did have a lot of wands and the Queen of Wands come out. Sacral chakra for me is creative expression. It is passionate expression. It is the womb of our journey, basically. If it isn't conceived in the sacral chakra, it won't grow. And when the sacral chakra turns sour and is blocked, then we can't grow. So it's really about healthy expression and passion and embracing those parts of ourselves that help us grow. Really observing what isn't helping us grow here, so that we can grow in a way that is offering us the security or the feelings of balance and love that we need. So group 3, that's what I see for you. It's going to be an interesting full moon. I kind of wish I did this video at the start of the week to give us more of a heads up, but you're welcome. A little bit late, but enjoy this, the 27th of February. It could last the week after, especially with the Hermit energy around you. Honestly, you're in control of your actions. This reading was mostly just to give you clarity and a bit of entertainment. So look after your wonderful self, and I shall see you in another video. Bye. Hi group 4, and welcome. If you chose the purple and blue bracelet, then this is going to be your reading. So group 4, today's reading is aiming to offer us clarity about the full moon in Virgo that we have coming up at the end of this month. I did double check this time. It's definitely a full moon in Virgo. We're going to be asking how this full moon in Virgo may be impacting you. What can you expect? Generally getting predictions. I will be using 3 different decks in this reading. We're going to start with the Rider-Waite Tarot to see what it can offer us. Okay. Group 4, please, Spirit. What does the full moon in Virgo have in store for them? Oh, this is bizarre. Okay, it's kind of a cluster. I don't know if I want to separate these. Apparently I do. So there is this 5 of Wands coming out for you, and it's kind of being associated with the 10 of Pentacles and this King of Wands. I'm hearing plans for the future, but fears from the past. So I don't think that there's going to necessarily be conflict. I think that with the King of Wands' energy coming out, there is a lot of power in this energy. If you resonate as this King of Wands, you are incredible at manifesting, and your energy is pulling something big towards you. However, your fears are coming towards you as well because you've been dwelling on them recently. There is this energy of you're afraid of what other people will say, or you're afraid of an argument or a conversation that may go sour. You're afraid of a difference of opinions. You're afraid that someone isn't sharing your point of view and that you may have to fight or compete against others in order to be successful. I don't necessarily see this as a genuine challenge. I see this as more of like a mental challenge because the 10 of Pentacles is coming up as the final result. So this, whatever this is, whatever you're planning, excuse me, sir, no, you can't go outside, it's raining. Whatever this is that you're planning, it has the potential to lead to like long-term legacy success. Like, if this is a relationship situation, I'm looking at like dogs and children and houses and estates and like the whole 9 yards. If this is a job opportunity and you feel like you've got really competitive, what do I want to say? Employment situations? I don't know. But it kind of feels like the competition isn't there, or they don't even exist. Like, you're in a league of your own here. The king has the final say. Like, whatever this is, it's your energy sort of manifesting it. I don't think it's genuinely a true blockage, a true obstacle. I don't see it as something that is a part of your future, but I see it as something that may have been a part of your past. And it's this feeling of, well, it can happen, it could happen, that is kind of creating it in your present, but it isn't going to be a part of your future. The future here seems stable and supportive and nurturing as well. Like, there's people who, I just want to say, I don't know why, this is just a full moon's prediction reading, but group 4, you're not going to die alone. And I see you having a life that apparently because of this weekend, I don't know what you're planning here with the King of Wands, you're in planning mode this weekend, but whatever you're planning, it could lead to a lot of happiness, it could lead to a lot of success, and just a lot of, like, you've created something here. It's you that's done this, whether it's children, family, an estate, a business, a company, like, it's you, it's all you. You've done this. I'm being shown the Hierophant reverse, so I see you kind of holding on to something that you don't want to share with others this weekend, or potentially withdrawing. So it's interesting. You may have an unconventional road to success ahead of you. Yeah, you're keeping something a secret. And I feel this full moon triggering these feelings. There's this desire to disclose, there's this desire to act, but mostly I want to say it's going to be a fairly passive full moon for you. I don't see a lot of action. I see a lot of thinking. I see a lot of reflecting. I see a lot of understanding, and you seem to be carving a path to success that is unconventional and that may go against the advice of those around you or some sort of overarching figure. It almost feels with the Hierophant reversed here that you could be planning something that is completely out of the box of what you used to do, or it is completely different to how others used to do it, or people aren't expecting this from you. But I don't see you sort of acting. I just see you sitting in this energy. Ace of Cups. I just literally, my throat just closed. What is this? The 6 of Cups. You're thinking about something in your past. The Ace of Cups and the 6 of Cups, a new opportunity in love. What? Did I accidentally flip any other cards? No, just those cards. Interesting. Something from your past is going to be playing on your mind this weekend, okay? And it's instigating feelings of, what if this doesn't work? Actually, let's take that. Where does it want to go? Oh, that's cute. You can stay there. Yeah, this is cute. Okay, my lord. Oh, there's warmth, but there's fear. And I don't know if this fear is generally warranted. Like, I don't think it's something, it's there, sure, but I don't think it's actually something that is going to be a part of your future. So interesting. You're in planning mode this weekend, trying to figure out your best life, literally, trying to understand how you can milk the most out of this experience. You're in a very active planning mode. There may be a lot of sexual tension around you, okay? So just be aware of that. Give yourself time alone to express yourself. But I do just generally feel like you're in planning mode for the future this weekend, and you're sitting on the secret that you really want to let out, or you're sitting on an idea that is manifesting behind the scenes. Let's say it that way. It may not necessarily be a secret, but you're sitting on an idea that is manifesting behind the scenes. I don't think this Ace of Cups reversed is a bad thing. I think it's more so just you having to sit with your own energy and create something by yourself. So listen, you're overthinking the failure in this equation. I don't think you're going to fail. I think you just need to make a clear decision and continue your energetic manifestation. Be very clear about what you want, Spirit is saying. With this Lovers card, there is impatience in this situation. There are concerns that you don't have all the information, but there is definitely a new beginning coming. And it's really important that you're very clear about what you want. Be very clear. Make a clear decision, Spirit is saying. Declutter your mind. This is unwarranted. It doesn't reduce the fear that you're experiencing, but you need to know that this cycle of either pain or concern or fear, it is going to end because it isn't a part of your future. It is important that with this clear information, this clear decision, you continue manifesting your energy towards this. I see a transformation. A shocking transformation, like someone isn't necessarily expecting this, or they're not expecting this from you. It is going to be successful, but it does involve reconciling the past, because there's something here about the past that needs to be reconciled. It feels like with the Death card upright, it leads to a positive outcome of a rebirth situation, but we do have to pay attention to the elephant in the room. We can't just come here with a box full of mice and say, this is our new beginning, and there's still an elephant in the corner of the room going, excuse me? I thought I was your beginning. So really get rid of those skeletons out of your closet. Use this weekend to understand how you are going to address that elephant in the room in order to move the situation forward. I hope that makes sense, but we do have ends to tie up with the Death card. This isn't a completely blank slate. This isn't a completely fresh new beginning. We have to completely end something first and address that ending before this new beginning. That is why the Ace of Cups is still in reverse. There's emotional baggage, apparently. Let's get some more cards for Group 4, please, Spirit. What else can they expect with this full moon in Virgo? What else can Group 4 expect with this full moon in Virgo? The Three of Cups has been coming out a lot lately. I want to say reunion, but with you I'm not too sure because, listen, you do have emotional baggage. So what's going on there? Oh, wow. I'll go back to you. Let's just keep going. What is the full moon in Virgo bringing? Yeah, you're on the precipice of a new beginning. Oh, and there's the Lovers card again. Are we really surprised, though? You're going on to big things, okay? I see your future being something that you're going to be very proud of, but it involves you being clear about what you want first. Seven of Swords reverse. So you're thinking, and you're thinking about how you can do things the right way. I'm going to take my scarf off because it's just not... You know when you wear a scarf and it's like slipping ridiculously, but you try to lie to yourself and tell yourself, it's still there. It's still on my head. Barely. That's what I was doing your whole reading. For the last 9 minutes, the scarf was slipping further and further down my head, like my scalp. Anyway, speaking of denial, we have the Nine of Wands. So this is interesting, Group 4. Your energy is tired, but you're persevering through something. There is fear, but I want to say that we have to deny ourselves the worst case scenario because it doesn't have room in our manifestation this weekend. We are manifesting success, and I honestly think that this is a lifetime of success for you. Whatever success you are planning, it is the precipice. It is like the pinnacle. No, not even pinnacle. What's the best word? It is the tip of the iceberg. Yes, that's the better word. It is the tip of the iceberg compared to what is genuinely coming your way. The Nine of Wands indicates someone who is feeling tired, who may need a little bit of respite, but there is this energy of persevering through. And Spirit is showing me that something that you have, like you have an energetic wall up that is blocking your new beginning. So it's either your fear or it's this inability to open up. It's this inability to, I'm hearing seize opportunities. So listen, I don't mean to get that deep, but apparently any opportunity that is coming to you, it needs to feel welcomed by you. It needs to feel like you have room for it in your life. It needs to feel like you're going to actually open up and let this opportunity in. Otherwise, there's a repelling energy about this as well. There's a guarded energy, let's say that. Not repelling, but more so guarded. You're guarding yourself. You're protecting yourself. And this needs room to come in at the moment. If you really want to do this the right way, we have to open up and let this in. You can't get in. That's why the cup is reversed. Anyway, let's keep going. So the Three of Cups here, honestly, apparently some of us are going to be social this weekend. That card has come out in a lot of different groups. But for you, I am sensing that you could feel like there's interference in something that you're manifesting. You could feel like you're competing with others for some sort of goal that you have in mind, or a person that you have in mind, or like you have interference in this plan. I kind of feel like you maybe need to give yourself a little bit of time out this weekend to genuinely just have fun and take this seriously, but also let some of that fear be curbed for a second. Let some of these concerns be curbed for a second. Let's see what this card was. The Knight of Swords. Okay. What did I ask again when this came out? I said, let's clarify the Three of Cups. So I want to say that you could, this was a message that came out in group 3. So I don't know if you guys know each other, but you could have an unexpected change of events here with the Knight of Swords coming up that puts you in an impulsive, spontaneous energy of rushing towards a social situation, okay? Because for whatever reason, you feel emotionally invested in being there. It's a good time. It's a fun time. It might just be a non-serious sort of playful time for you, or it could end up leading to a very important conversation. But I just heard, and it's a big but. That's interesting. What else do we have for you? We have the King of Swords now with the Chariot reversed. I want to say that maybe you're not really getting to make the moves that you want to when you want to, okay? At first, I was feeling like you might be moving very quickly out of nowhere, but with the Chariot reversed, your fear is getting the better of you. At this point in time, we can't move forward because we don't have room to move forward. We need to be passive and let these energies sort of balance out and let this full moon give us the ride we need through our fears and through our feelings so that we're able to balance this out a little bit. You have success in your future, group 4, but I do see that we need to make room for this success in your present moment. And with the King of Swords here, I think it's time to think for yourself and to not let whatever system or whatever overarching sort of person you have in your life run your life for you. There is someone who seems to be making decisions for you, and as long as you let them continue to do that, you're not going to be able to move forward in the ways that you want to. There is a feeling here of needing to carve your own path, needing to think for yourself with this King of Swords, needing to make decisions for yourself, and needing to make room in your life for the things that you want. Otherwise, they just can't come to you. There's a lot here that needs to be said, But your full moon is more about understanding those deficits or understanding those areas of your life better and understanding how to move more towards what you want and away from what you don't want, because you don't want an argument, you don't want disagreements, you don't want to have to fight in this situation. You just want peace and you want your success. And honestly, you have this desire for a reason. You have this passion for a reason. You have this creativity. You have this out-of-the-box thinking for a reason. You are destined for this. And the way that you express yourself, the things that you're passionate about, are a code towards your success. It is only the tip of the iceberg, but you do need to be very clear about what you want here with the Lovers card. You have to be very clear and make a clear decision. This is you gaining your independence. That's what that card is. It's you stepping into your own path, being very, very clear. There's only one cup here that is actually going to serve you on your journey. The others may lead to destruction, toxicity, immediate relief, but long-term sadness is what I'm feeling, or just a general feeling of being a slave to something. With the money there, you're just... one of these is actually going to help you in your long term, and the rest are just going to confuse you and numb you and use you. With the Fool reversed here, this weekend is you preparing for something new, preparing for a new step, a new cycle, a new pathway forward. But we can't get to this something new without fully freeing ourselves from something in our present, in our past. And for some of you, it is fear of this conversation. It is fear of competition. It is fear of addressing that elephant in the room. It is fear of opening that closet and removing the skeleton so that you have room for this new opportunity. It's like you want to share your life with your legacy, with whatever this is, but you can't because your life is just too out of your control at the moment. I do feel for many of you it is about making choices for yourself, making decisions for yourself, gaining some sort of independence and making an independent decision in your life. But for many of you, this weekend is just going to be you processing all of that, thinking about all of that, planning for all of that, understanding how you can have everything you've ever wanted. It's just on the other side of this blockage, taking your power back. It may be an unconventional road, but it still leads to success for you, Group 4. So what else can you tell them about their full moon in Virgo, please? What else can you tell them? You may have a friend who just sort of helps you get out of this energy too, temporarily. Like they're just like, hey, what are you doing? Do you want to go for a drive? And you're like, yes, please. I've just been sitting here stewing over my untapped potential, so please get me out of this. Yeah, you might be traveling unexpectedly. Ooh, fighting for yourself, pulling what you need in. Okay, listen, what else do they really need to hear? Okay, I will take them. Bottom deck energy is the wrestling ring, fighting for what you deserve. I really feel like this weekend is going to put a fire up your ass. I'm so sorry, but listen, it is going to motivate you to step towards what you deserve. It is going to really show you that you can have everything. You just need to tell the universe you want it. You just need to show yourself and tell yourself that you want it. I really think that you're in an attractive energy with your King of Wands energy, Group 4, but you do need to show the universe you want this. You do need to fight for what you want in this situation. I feel that for some of you, you've done big moves so far, but we don't want to fall back into patterns just because it's easier, or just not even easier. I don't think it's genuinely easier. I think it's just comfortable. It's familiar. It suppresses us. It numbs us. It gives us, like, I'm feeling like it's an opioid, you know? It just numbs us and suppresses us. It doesn't actually give us the life we need, but it is time to apparently really clearly decide and fight for what you want mentally. We got to start there, and then you're going to have a bit of respite with this Three of Cups, but I see that your overall goal this weekend is figuring out your long-term success. And for many of you, it involves your job. It involves you asserting yourself in the workplace, or really formulating that business plan, understanding how you want to build that company, how you want to create this independent success, and really laying down those foundations with the Sprout here. You have the opportunity to get this ball rolling. Apparently, this idea is already growing in your mind. It's just time to transplant it. Take that sprout out of your head and put it in the soil. It's like you've been growing this seedling, and it's time now to pot it. It's time now to put it in the ground and to let it grow into this legacy. We have the Grim Reaper here, so I do feel like we have an ending. We have something about death here. Something is ending. Something needs to really clearly end in order for a new opportunity, but we're doing that this weekend is what I feel. We're really reconciling parts of our mind, going through some of the skeletons in our closet, and understanding that we deserve more for our future. With wings here, I do see something about travel. I do see something about ascension, like stepping out of something or overcoming something or flying above something. You may just be in a very sort of nostalgic energy, okay? I know this is a little side note. It's a little bit uncharacteristic compared to your other messages, but if you do have a loved one who's passed on, heads up, you might be thinking about them or sort of visiting your memories with them this weekend. I'm not sure why. Maybe they were an emotional source or someone who was very supportive of your dreams and made you feel heard and seen. But there is this energy of we're thinking about them this weekend. We have Claw here as well. So more energy of fighting, like really scratching your way through this, asserting yourself through this, investing your energy into this, fighting for this. I'm also seeing Love Potion. So I was feeling love here. I'm feeling like, listen, this is a catalyst effect. This affects you holistically. You compromise here, it ends up compromising everywhere. This is telling me that you can have your cake and eat it. You can have your successful business, your successful career, and your soulmate. Like, it goes hand in hand. You carving your individual unconventional path to success when it comes to your money leads to an unconventional individual road to success in romance. And maybe that's why this is someone from your past, because maybe when you were out here following some sort of a structure that somebody else had built for you, this person didn't fit in that structure. They weren't able to because it was somebody else's vision for your success. All right, let's keep going. We have lasso. So you're pulling something in towards you. I feel like this is a person, but it could just be your future, your opportunities. We have hot springs here. So the opportunities is something is boiling in the background, and it's this new cycle, if I'm honest. It feels like something is boiling, and we're just in the moment of kind of marinating in the minerals. We're not really ready to get out and start our next leg of a journey. It's more just about marinating in the minerals. I do feel like you're on the tip of something brand new. Like, we're ready to really just tie off these loose ends and look forward to the future. I almost feel like something is waiting for you guys. We have Meadow here. So listen, I know I described a lot of fighting, but you are going to have a lot of peace as well. And I almost feel like that's why we're fighting, because we have to get through this in order to obtain our peace. And I really hope that you're not doing this physically, but with all this energy here, maybe you might end up. But I feel like it's more of an energetic fight. You know, you're really overcoming your fears. You're overcoming these concerns about your past holding you back, your previous actions, your previous circumstances, the way that you compromised your own thoughts in order to appease others. And I honestly see that it leads to a brand new cycle. With the World card here, I almost feel like very reflective, coming through something that has been a long time coming. It's really important that we do this right. So really get this final leg of the journey done to the point of the full moon of Virgo is going to help you look into that documentation a little bit further, make sure you're crossing your T's, dotting your I's, doing things the right way, and making sure that this, when it's over, it's really over. You know, nothing can come back and bite us in the bast. Excuse me, in the ass. What is the bast? Oh Lord, channeling is hilarious. But the world is really telling me this end of cycle energy, because we have this new beginning coming, tying up these loose ends to prepare for a brand new start. I'm also seeing magnet here, so you are pulling something towards you. It feels like love, but we need to fully end this first. Like, let's end this before we start that. I'm also seeing breath, so I'm hearing you take my breath away, but I'm also hearing it might be helpful for you to just work through your breathing this weekend. If you feel like you're getting really constricted, or like everything is sort of mounting on top of you, breath work for you, group 4, taking those deep mindful breaths. I also feel like it's about getting fresh air, so maybe doing something a little bit different this weekend, something outdoors that helps you feel like you're in a wide space to breathe, maybe a wide private space if you can. I'm not sure where you're at in this world, but it feels like we need fresh air. And I think that this fresh cycle is going to love you doing things outside of your routine to show that you're ready for something new as well. The universe will only give us what we feed our energy into. And if you're doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results. So fresh air is a wonderful start for a brand new cycle. I'm also seeing gift. So I do think that you have a lot of abundance coming your way. I do think that you have this thing that seems to be like neatly wrapped and waiting for you almost. Like it's just waiting on the other edge of your skeletons and that elephant that needs to be addressed in your room. With candle here, your manifestation is paying off. I also feel like low-key, it's manifesting you, group 4. Like you're out here manifesting it, it's manifesting you. There is a need to be resilient here, but there's also a desire, or at least a calling, to be open once the time comes. Like I get that you're a tough nut, you're a very hard rock, but also when push comes to shove, when the opportunity comes, when the fight is over, make sure that you're not too proud to let people see the real you, okay? Especially if this opportunity involves love. I feel like you are a rock, you are a protector, you're a fighter, you're really good at what you do, but there are other sides to you, and it's almost like you need to, when this new cycle begins, take the warrior's costume off and get into something a little more comfortable. What do you have for group 4 when it comes to healing, please? Oh, Reiki. You could be doing energy healing. I just think of Reiki, but I don't know. There's other forms of energy healing, like Tai Chi, for example, moving the energy through your body and around you. We have calm your mind. All right, listen, that's everything that I thought you were going to get. Crystals could be very helpful. You guys need protection crystals is what I'm going to say. I was picking this out for, I think, 1 or 2 of the other groups as well. Not so much group 3, but for you, protection crystals, black tourmaline, obsidian. I would also recommend pyrite if you are wanting to attract and manifest money, potentially citrine, quartz. I'm not too sure. I'm not a professional when it comes to crystals. This is just what I'm thinking. Even snowflake obsidian, holy heck, I do apologize. Snowflake obsidian could be helpful for you. You definitely need to cleanse your chakras though. That obsidian fell right in the middle of the chakra bracelet. Speaking of chakras, we have your sacral chakra here, so you are going to be very on edge. Give yourself time to express your energy healthily. Like it comes back to that sexual energy that I was feeling. You need to give yourself private moments to express, to release. But I also feel in general, the way that I described it for group 2 is that your sacral chakra is like the womb of your life. Nothing can be created until it passes through your sacral chakra. And if your sacral chakra is blocked, then your success cannot be created. The good that you want for yourself cannot be created. Your sacral chakra is about expression. It's about passion. It's about desire in a way, because you have to be attracted to what you want to bring in, if that makes sense. You can't just say, oh, that person seems to be doing well, I'll have what they're having, and like have no actual desire to do what they've done to get there. It's this energy of the womb of your life is blocked at the moment. So I do think that energy healing may be helpful if you don't feel comfortable or you're not able to go to a Reiki or Tai Chi class. Then it might be as simple as, just doing meditation that targets specific chakras. And for you, it's your sacral and your throat. You have something that you need to say, and it's time to express yourself clearly. I think that this full moon for you is about very clearly clearing out your mind, because your throat chakra is linked to your logical mind as well as your voice, your communication. Clear your mind, be very clear about what you want, and start thinking about how you're going to get to what you want. What do you need to end first? Because something needs to be ended, and I feel like we have to have a conversation in order for this to happen. We're seeing you need the help from a professional. And that's interesting because we also saw the Hierophant reversed, and the Hierophant is almost like a professional slash an institution or something that is very rigid. So I feel like what you're doing is unconventional. It's a little bit different. Either you're not familiar with it or a lot of people around you aren't familiar with it. That doesn't mean that there isn't anybody who can help you. There is still some sort of business structure or some professional who may be able to offer you advice. I think it's more about doing the right research, even just to get the groundwork laid for you. This could also be about opening up with someone you really, really trust, or with someone who has your best interest, someone who isn't going to splatter your innermost thoughts across the front page of every newspaper. You know, this is someone who you feel you can confide in. We're also being shown positive affirmations, and ironically, I think that for you, it's not necessarily writing that will help you. It's expressing it, saying positive affirmations to yourself. When you have that conflicting thought or that conflicting image or that conflicting feeling, pause and say what you want instead. Say what you want to manifest. Instead of feeling like this is hopeless because it's just going to lead to an argument, say, I am worthy of the success. I am courageous and confident, strong enough and able enough to have this difficult conversation. I will be able to express everything that I need to say, and I will come out of this situation victorious. I will make sure that what I say is fair and for the highest good of all, emancipating myself from a situation that was limiting my potential. I'm sorry, I was using a lot of big words, but I do think that this is about saying what you want instead of just listening to the thoughts that you don't want. We have breathe here again, so fresh air for you guys, please. And we also have calm your mind, absolutely. And I think that's where the spoken affirmations will help with those thoughts that are clogging things up a little bit. So group 4, that's what I see for you. You were the longest group that I filmed. I hope this gave you a lot of information. Honestly, I don't see a lot happening necessarily during this weekend of the full moon. I see this weekend, though, offering you clarity and the steps forward for you to act in the week that follows. So you have a beautiful, successful journey ahead of you. However chaotic or busy this interim feels, it is temporary, and it is overall guiding you towards what is truly meant for you and the success and the love and the abundance that you truly deserve. There is a gift waiting for you on the other side of this, and it is a lot closer to you than you think. Sending you so much love and light, group 4. Look after your wonderful self, and I shall see you in another video. Bye.